Somebody please help me!
Rida?
Kill them!
I'm at 3370, and the neighbor lady just said her husband or boyfriend just accidentally shot himself.
The call came in as a suicide, but the scene told a different story. A man sprawled at the bottom of the stairs.
Like, what's going on? And then boom.
Took her in before I dated her.
Okay.
Rita's story kept changing. And I said, there's no way I believe that.
It takes a really horrible person to speak so poorly of someone who is letting you live in their home for free.
That it was her and Matt against the world. Seemed like a very unhealthy obsession to me.
Please help me! 911, what is the address of your emergency?
I'm at 3370, and the neighbor lady just said her husband or boyfriend just accidentally shot himself.
Where is the wound at?
Where did he get shot? In his cheek. In his cheek.
In his cheek?
Yes.
An officer was dispatched right away, racing to the crime scene. When the officer arrived, the scene was already swarming with ambulances and fire trucks. At the bottom of the steps, the officer saw a man lying motionless. The victim was identified as Matthew Hendershot. As the officer reached Matthew, was already dead. The officer noticed the call had been dispatched as a suicide, but at the scene, there was no firearm anywhere near the body. As the officer approached Rita, the one who found Matthew dead, her behavior suddenly turned erratic.
Somebody please let me go to Matt. Please let me go to his body.
No,
please,
no, we're gonna sit right
please.
here.
She startled as the officer approached, threatening to kill herself. So, for her own safety, he handcuffed her.
But you understand how tough I am gonna be myself because I'm in love with him. Never been handcuffed in my life.
Have a seat on that chair for me, Rita.
Oh, I can't live without Matt. Please help me. He's the kindest person I've ever met in my life.
The officer began piecing the scene together, trying to uncover what had really happened.
We were just moving our guns. He was like, babe, let's move our guns.
Yeah.
And he had the gun in his hand, and I took it, and it, boom, I didn't realize it was loaded.
Even with her hands cuffed, Rita managed to call her boyfriend, while officers waited for backup to arrive.
Hey, did you call my brother? I'm not gonna make it. I love Matt. I'm so sad.
Hey, sir, she's going to be without her phone now, all right? If you decide to show up, you're just going to be met with a line of tape. But this is a closed crime scene.
Moments later, Rita's boyfriend pulled up to the scene, right into the middle of a growing investigation.
Does she live here with Matthew? Okay. How did that situation work?
He took her in before I dated her.
Okay.
You know what I mean? He was a good friend and everything like that. I've talked to Matt. I've been friends with Kosher and Matt too. I've never had any problems with him.
Okay.
Somebody please help me!
Rita?
Can't live
Rita, I need you to take a deep breath, Rita.
I can't do this. No.
As Rita's erratic behavior escalated, officers grew more suspicious. Detective Weidman stepped in, pressing her for answers about Matt's death.
Where were you when it happened?
I was coming in the kitchen. We were moving guns, and he was holding it. He was in the kitchen with me. We were both in the kitchen. We were just moving him, just hiding him under our bed.
And you said there wasn't a clip inside of it?
He put the clip inside of it, not me.
He put the clip inside?
Yeah, we were just moving guns. It was just like our regular routine. We were just cleaning house. I didn't realize he put the clip in the 1911. It happened quick. It didn't even happen.
Rita told Detective Weidman the gun went off in the kitchen. Detectives headed there immediately, searching for the weapon and any signs to back up her story. Detectives couldn't be certain where the shooting had actually taken place. There wasn't enough blood inside the house to match the story. In Matt's room, the TV was still on, a video game frozen mid-play, as if someone had shut it off in a hurry. In the kitchen, officers found several firearms. Among them, an Ed Brown 1911 lying on the counter. The firearm was sent to forensics, where tests would determine whether Rita's story held any truth. or unravel it completely. When officers broke the news to Matt's mother, she was in shock, unable to process the loss. Through her grief, one thing was clear. She immediately pointed the blame at Rida.
I can't live without him.
I heard Rita yelling.
That's my family. Can I please go down to them, please?
We're going to sit over here,
I
Rita.
can't go down.
I would just have a seat on that chair for me, Rita.
My brother had come down and he said, Rita is saying it was an accident. And I said, there's no way I believe that. She shot him on purpose.
Matthew was the kind of man everyone leaned on. Caring, loyal, and always ready to help a friend or family member in need. He had a gentle spirit, a big heart, and a love for the simple joys of life, like video games and laughter with those closest to him. To his loved ones, Matt wasn't just family or a friend. He was a source of warmth and comfort.
When I first met Rita, I thought she was sweet, very pretty. They seemed to have a lot of fun together.
Not long after Matt and Rita married, Matt's family grew concerned. Rita's behavior didn't match her words. On Facebook, she acted loving, especially toward Matt's grandmother. But behind the scenes, she posted troubling things that raised red flags. Soon after the marriage, Matt became isolated. Rita slowly cut him off from his friends and family, leaving him without the support of the people who loved him most. Rita often posted online that it was her and Matt against the world, slowly convincing him that his own family was the problem. When Matt's grandmother passed, he was devastated. Instead of support, the loss fueled constant fights between him and Rita. After 5 years of turmoil, their marriage ended in divorce. In the wake of the divorce, Rita latched onto a new obsession, one that would drag Matt back into her world with devastating consequences. After getting engaged to another man, Rita's attention shifted to guns. Soon, her social media was filled with posts about it, her obsession growing more obvious with every update. In 2019, Rita shared a chilling post on Facebook, sitting on a bike, captioned, "Ride or Die." A year later, March 30th, 2020, tragedy struck. After a heated argument at a party, her fiancé rode home on his bike while she followed in the car. Just as he neared home, his bike slid, and he died instantly. After Rita's fiancé was killed in a car accident, she turned back to Matt, asking if she could move in with him again. Matt's parents wanted to believe that the woman who'd broken their trust might have turned a corner. But the peace was short-lived, and the truth came crashing back, just like before. When Rita moved back in, Matt believed he was just helping her through a tough time. But when his father and friends visited, they saw constant arguments, clear signs things were spiraling out of control. When she moved back in with Matt, she didn't come alone. She brought an arsenal of guns, weapons that once belonged to her ex-fiancé. Matt hated it. He never wanted guns in the house, but like so many things with her, he let it slide. To Matt's parents, it was never about a fight that got out of hand. They believe she never planned to leave. Not really. She had him, the house, the control, and she wasn't about to give that up. Every tear, every promise, it was all part of the act. Matt's father once came for a weekend visit. What he saw haunted him for weeks. She pulled out a military-grade rifle, looked him dead in the eye, and said, "I can shoot someone from a mile away with this thing." He left with a growing fear, not just for himself, but for his son. And it wasn't just the father. Matt's best friend, Randy, once dropped by. Rita was drinking, angry, spiraling. 1 minute she was screaming, the next, wielding a machete. Randy later said, "I've never been that scared in my life." 5 hours after the incident, detectives asked Rita to walk them through exactly how Matt was killed, step by step, hoping her story would finally reveal the truth.
So
Run me through everything.
he was in the living room with me. We were moving all the guns. We were gonna put everything up here, over here,
Right.
in that cabinet. And that's when it happened. It was just a complete freak accident.
Rida's story kept shifting. Detectives gave her one final chance. Tell us exactly what happened with no more lies.
I didn't realize that it was loaded, and I didn't realize that it was just sitting at the bottom.
Okay.
I didn't realize that because I was just moving stuff so fast. I was just like do 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 do, boom, and it went off, and it was sitting right there, and I was like, oh my god.
Rida's story kept unraveling. First, she claimed they were in the kitchen. Matt handed her the gun, and it just went off. But detectives knew something wasn't adding up.
It happened like right here somewhere.
She very casually explains that she's actually walking into the bedroom and reenacts when the gun actually fired.
But he was seated.
He sat down.
Was he seated on this stool?
He sat on his bed.
On his bed. So he was sitting on the bed when it happened.
Yeah.
You were
I
standing.
came in to like, what's going on? And then boom.
During the walkthrough, detectives spotted a fired cartridge on Matt's bed. It was the clue they needed. Matt hadn't died in the kitchen. He was playing video games in his room when Rida walked in and pulled the trigger.
Didn't even know what happened until he went outside and he held his hand, and I was like, wait a minute, that didn't sound right. So that's when I went to his aid and I ran to the neighbor's house, and I was like, oh my god, somebody call 911. My phone was dead.
With her story falling apart, Rida was arrested, charged with wanton endangerment for recklessly handling a firearm. Detectives had a gut feeling Rita's reckless story hid something darker, but without solid proof, a murder charge was out of reach. For now, Rida walked out on bail the very next day, and instead of laying low, she flaunted nights out with her boyfriend on social media, shocking those who knew Matt. As the investigation deepened, detectives uncovered text messages on Matt's phone, messages where he confided to family about the abuse he was enduring from Rida. Detectives now realized Matt hadn't just been in a troubled relationship. He was a victim of domestic abuse. 3 weeks later, forensic results confirmed the firearm was fully functional, shattering Rida's claim that the gun had misfired.
There's a grip safety in the back of the grip, and if that is not depressed, it will not fire. So there's just no way that that would happen accidentally.
On June 11th, Rida was rearrested, this time for first-degree murder, and taken into custody. In February 2023, nearly 2 years after Matt's death, Rida finally went on trial. Matt's family and friends, along with the evidence detectives uncovered, proved vital in building the case against Rida. The trial lasted just 6 days. Rida chose not to testify, but the jury saw through her shifting stories. They found her guilty of second-degree murder, sentencing her to 40 years and 10 years for use of a firearm in the commission of a felony. The prosecution pushed for first-degree murder, but in the end, the evidence didn't support a premeditated plan. The jury returned a second-degree murder verdict, and it was the right call. Because while this may not have been plotted in cold blood, it was still a deliberate act of violence. And the message is clear. There are consequences, even when rage replaces reason. Detectives believe Rida had been drinking and started arguing with Matt. He tried to ignore her, but in a moment of rage, she grabbed a gun and fired. Matt staggered away before collapsing on the stairs, where his life ended. Abusers escalate when they feel control slipping away. The violence grows, not because they're angry, but because they're desperate to keep power. And in this case, when she realized she was out of ways to delay him from kicking her out, she reached for a gun. Matt's life was cut short by violence he never deserved. He was a son, a brother, a friend, loved deeply by those around him. Though nothing can erase the pain of his loss, justice was finally delivered. His story is a reminder to listen, to believe, and to protect those trapped in silence. Matt will be remembered not for the tragedy, but for the love he gave and the light he left behind. Domestic violence doesn't just leave bruises, it steals futures, silences voices, and shatters families. If you or someone you know is living in fear, please don't wait. Reach out. You are not alone. In the U.S., call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-779-97233. That one call can mean safety, hope, and even life itself. Let us honor the victims by raising our voices, standing together, and saying, violence has no place in love.